Hello everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd get another update of this medical CV out there. Haven't quite come up with a name yet, but it's getting there. Got some ideas. Now I named it one thing, but I'll probably change it right now, or I'll change it soon. But today I thought I'd give like a tour of the ship on what I've got done so far on the interior of it. And it's, I got quite a bit done in the last couple days here. Get out of God mode, and I'm gonna go for the night lighting here in a minute too, because I've been kind of tweaking that stuff out. So walking in the front of the ship, come up to basically your loading zone, or basically you can get some people on board here, and not too much going on here. There are some extra crates around, a little bit of fuel storage on the sides, and then over here I've got a couple more storage rooms for main parts like fuel and oxygen. So that's on either side going across this way. Now if you go down the hallway here, this gets into I don't know, kind of a hallway. Off to the side of the hallway you do actually have a medical room over here. This one I think would be for like emergencies, I guess. I don't know. I got to figure out exactly what I'm going to have each area be. Now this is on the bottom floor, and it would be close to the lower side bays to unload patients on. So that's this particular room. It's got an overlook to another room up above there as well, and a couple doorways coming in and out of here. Now this is kind of a weird setup I've got here. I've got the elevator kind of going down, and there's two different hallways coming off the sides here. One, I need to get a door here and finish that area off, but goes up to these bays over here. And there's another way out of here as well. So if you get here, this connects back to that hallway over there, and this has like a, I don't know, just a chill out room for the crew of the ship. To get some food and relax in between shifts, depending on what's going on. So, but then that kind of overlooks through this room down over there. So moving on, next area of the ship over here is the farm. Now this is all on the first deck, more or less, or the first floor of the ship. There's quite a few floors to it, so well, anyway, I've got some of the grow lights on right now. I've got manual switches for each set of grow lights, and a pretty good sized farm. And off to the sides here you actually do have some windows and some places to chill out over here. I had some fun with big oxygen storage area there, so I kind of dressed that up and did something a little bit different from the norm. And kind of get a look at how this is turning out. I've been really working on the lighting as well, trying to get that kind of dialed in, and so it looks good at night. So moving on to the next big area that was done is the rear hangar. And this is kind of typical, I guess you could say, to a lot of hangars that I've done. It's got on this side two advanced constructors, two 320K storage, your O2 and regular med station, your cooking station, a couple fridges, and an armor locker, armor repair over there. And you have a repair bay here in the middle, and the repair console's back in the back corner over there. Now on this side it's different. It's got 360K storage and three small constructors, and then 56K ammo storage, and some additional cargo crates over there. Now I got to get LCDs in place for all this stuff, and I have some holes behind the walls where I can mount LCD stuff, which will add in a little bit more display. And I haven't added consoles or deco things in the hangar yet. I guess a couple up over there, but I'll probably get some more of that in there. Now currently I'm calling it the Comfort, but that might change. In fact, it's probably going to change. I didn't really want to name it after a U.S. Medical ship. Um, this is quite a bit different. It's not trying to be that ship at all. So, and I don't even know what that ship would look like on the inside either. Hopefully, I'll never find out. But so that is some of the areas that I've got done so far, and this was quite a lot of work so far. Now, there's one other area I am working on that's getting there. Let me take a stroll to the other side of the ship here. I think I would want to go up the elevator over here. I got to finish off these elevators yet too. So the next floor, which is partially done, I did work on some walls and stuff, is the engineering section. So we've got our warp core in there, offline protection. Kind of weird. I got this area below the floor here that I'm trying to utilize some space on. That's why I indented some things, like the shield generators down below there. Got 3 generators there. We've got our CPU blocks, a couple of them there, and a couple more over here, and 2 additional generators, and some fuel storage, and the front area gravity generator. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this area over here yet, and I got to do the ceiling up on here because I haven't touched that yet. The ceiling can make a lot of difference too. So that's kind of what I'm going to do now, just to show you kind of my typical process of usually trying to get the walls built, and then once I know where the wall lines are going to be, then I can go through and create a ceiling for it. Now above here, get into God mode. These are all full blocks here, so this is kind of like below the bridge. So I can chop away virtually everything here, and I intend to. So as in symmetry, I probably should turn on symmetry here. I built this room not in symmetry because I wanted it different on all the sides, but I think the ceiling can be symmetric, pretty sure. So first thing I'm going to do, gotta do a little bit more than that, eh? Whoa, how come on? Let's hit the right button. There we go. Okay, finally centered. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna chop away the ceiling as much as I can here. And I'll replace it with different blocks, essentially, but so it looks like in here I'm going to get 3 decent strips across there, and if I replace just those blocks, I think I'll be in pretty good shape. Now, there's a little bit of an overhang on this side, which I'm thinking I can compensate for all this if I do it right. So I guess for now I'm going to run this fairly standard block here. Just trying to get it to line up so I got the ridge line or between the 2 textures at this seam, which I'm actually off right now. So if I'll rotate that way, and I kind of learned from looking at this texture that if it looks like that right on the edge, then that's a separate texture from this side over here. That's all I was doing there. Save some time now if I get it right. So that's pretty simple there. Let's run a couple more of these in back here. And do the same thing on the front. Not going for anything too complicated in here. And see if I get these right or not. Texture alignment. Okay, so that did that. Now, what can we do on this, the rest of this here to make it look interesting? So I wanted to keep this beam relatively square because I've got a bunch of lights there and I added this piece down there. So I could just cap this off and make it square all the way around. That's a little on the boring side. So I kind of wanted to get something in here to break it up. And I got some extra blocks above here, at least on both sides, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna try to use that to get a little pipe work in here. Like that, and then how do I want to run this part here? About just a half block. If I did that there, just on the sides. Okay, and then here, about opposite of those curves, put in a couple like that. It's going to cause me some issues with the pipes. Well, not necessarily. Maybe just fill that in like that. There. So now the boring flat ceiling has turned into something else, which is pretty cool. So at this point in time, let's I still didn't switch over to the other texture tool. I guess I really should do that one of these days. Maybe make it go a little bit faster. Good, I got those right. Right now I'm just kind of hitting all the surfaces that I know I'm just going to want flat. And then let's try to get some kind of texture lights in here. Try to keep them spaced. So I got one block away from the edge there, one block away from the edge there. Do I got a perfect center or not? So I don't have a perfect center. Okay, so we'll leave that out. How about we'll stick a vent there? I think the rest of this I can fill in with regular metal. Something like that. Okay. Let's put like one of these right below the three parts there. And I'm going to try to get something else in this area. Something like that there. Alright, so pipes. A couple of standard pipe textures. Maybe something a little different up above. A little vent and control thing. Oh. I've been using mostly flat metal on this stuff. Kind of has a way of keeping that clean look, which I've been kind of going for. But do I want to do that here, or do I want to run some kind of other strip? It is engineering, so it doesn't have to look as clean. It doesn't anyway, so I could try that, or I could try to get a couple texture lights in here. Maybe just do something like that there. And let's just see if I can get a little something in some areas here. that'll break up here. Okay. Alright, so that part's looking good. How about some color? Now, how do I want the ceiling to be? Do I want more orange? Do I want to make it darker? Do I want a combination of both? I think a combination of both would probably look the best. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to start with some orange going across this strip, set for the vent. And let's try to go to a darker shade along the edges here. This could use a little bit more in here. A couple of those maybe. Vent. A couple of these. A couple more of those. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to try to go with gray here as well. I don't know if it... And then orange on the inside to match the other part there. And what to do with these parts. I could try to go with a different color completely. Will they look good if they were bright? Not really fitting. Could go really dark. So that doesn't do very good for those texture lights there. But maybe really dark and just those pieces are orange, like that. And then go with like a medium dark here across that area. And want that here too. Right. Just have a couple more textures in there. And I think that's more or less what I was going for. Alright, that area still has to get done yet, but let's just take a look here. Let's see, are we at night right now? Okay, so this is what we're looking like. So then, usually once I get that part done, where I get like most of the room set up, then I usually like to try to tweak the lighting a little bit. And I'm using the spotlights, but I want to see if they're got the right radiation angles. Are they centered at what they're supposed to be looking at? I see that I've got like a light on that side centered with the warp core. This one's not centered there, so let me line that up. Doesn't look bad in that color too. I do like the fluctuation. But what I've been trying to do, being the humans, is I'm trying to fluctuate between using this purple and some of this gray and occasionally some of the orange. And that's really the only colors I'm using. So in this case, being engineering, I'm thinking it probably should be orange. Although I did put like one more of a purple light back this way. So that, now what I'm taking a look at is how does it look on the shadow and, you know, the range of it. Like right here you can see that you're seeing the lights are both uneven and maybe their radius is too much. So let's try to dial this in right now. So I'm going to increase the radius, but I'm going to make the spotlight angle on this, say about 90 and see where that comes out at. About there, okay. So what if I did about the same with this light? How does that look on the warp core? Kind of dark. Like kind of dark, and you got these weird lines here. Let me take a look at this light too. What happens if I took one of these lights like this one, see, and made it gray instead? Okay, that's a little too muted there. So, let's try to take the angle down a little bit on this one. Okay, but these side ones, not getting enough regular light in this room. Now, one thing I could do, this is another trick, like all these are spotlights here, but what if I took one of them, made it not a spotlight, and usually what I end up doing is taking the intensity down and increase the range on that. So now that kind of adds in that atmospheric look, I guess you could say. So you can kind of see the ceiling now, where it was pretty much dark before. It gives you just that little bit of look, and then when you have some of these spotlights in the mix with one of those kinds of lights, you can get some different looking stuff. Now I'm thinking on these though, I'm going to bring these back up again. I lowered them down. Let's go to the extreme on the other side. Let's go up to about 140 and see what that actually looks like. Certainly a lot brighter that way. Try about the same on this side here. Now the two lights are crossing on the shadow right in the center. So I think I'm going to drop it down by about 10 to about 130. Trying to not have the two lights cross there. Not here at least. Rather have that little line, I think. And there. But I guess the point of what I was just trying to show you is that do not rule out the ceilings. The ceilings are so important. It's when you're walking through a ship and stuff. If you look at like the visible area that you're seeing on the walls, that's I mean that's one chunk across the sides. But look how much of the ceiling is always visible. And if I've seen a lot of builds where the ceilings are just flat, and I'm just like, well, you know, you could still do a lot. And by the way I'm doing this too, I got a full floor above it, so I'm not really wasting any blocks or space. I'm just getting more detail. The only thing it's going to cost you is size class, really, and hit points, I guess, on the blocks. But being interior blocks or in carbon substrate again, that it's not really that big of a deal. The outer hull is steel, but yeah, this part isn't here. So anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you for today. One last thing before I go, though, I just wanted to, now you've seen the areas that I did do on the ship, and I'm getting there, you know, I'm getting quite a bit done. But what's really scary about this ship is the amount of areas I didn't do yet. So, for instance, like, you've got this floor here. Now this goes back down into that area there. But if we were to head up the elevator to the next floor, if I'd even got this defined right, and we've got this big floor here as well. And this actually is going to reach all the way up into the bridge, and that's another big area I got to do. Don't mind this mess over here. I'm going to change all that around. This goes pretty much straight across the ship. It's we'll meet up kind of with these top bays as well, which are not done yet. I might do some copy and paste from the bottom bay though. And then into this area, which has this hangar overlook section here. So you got this big chunk here. Now most of these sections that you're seeing here are all going to be medical related stuff. Most of the ship that I've done so far, I've just been getting them like the core features, and it's not medical related. And don't mind the ceiling here too. That's probably going to change. Uh, if you've seen on earlier videos, I had a big cutout section above the farm. I did decide to remove that. First of all, it really didn't really do anything for appearance for the farm, and second, it was a huge waste of space and made it really awkward up here trying to get around. So anyway, we've got these floors here, but that's not all. Let me find an elevator. If we jet up another floor, then we've got this whole section here, which leads up to the back landing pad and the back, I don't know, security room, I guess you could say. And this again goes virtually all the way across the ship. It kind of has some floors that kind of dive into another. And that gets into this area here. But that's not all, because then there's another floor above here. Now this is one thing I'm debating on, whether I want to keep this floor, because this is deck 5. I mean, this is 5 decks above, as you can see when I'm going down into the ship. And here's the bottom of the ship area. So that's a lot of space. I was thinking about making one of these floors like have, I guess, really tall ceilings, and maybe eliminate this floor entirely, which would, but it'd be kind of, I don't know. Thinking about it, I got to figure out my layout. This layout is unfinalized on all these upper floors. One lesson I did learn though, since I do all that stuff to the ceiling, like I showed in, well, you can see it in every one of these rooms. I learned to start at the bottom of the ship and work my way upwards, because what I would used to do is just randomly like hit a room where I felt like it. So say I did up like this room and say it was all finalized and I got the floor all textured, then I would end up going down below and have to blow away the whole floor and then have to retexture everything I already did. So it's just something I'm learning to do, is just kind of start at the bottom of the ship and work my way upward until it eventually gets done. And this is a, like I said, after you see it now, yeah, I didn't actually mean to build a ship this big. I don't know what happens with me. I just keep on building. I didn't think it was that big when I was building it, I guess, but as it turns out, it's a hospital-sized ship. It really could be a real-life hospital. I don't know how many beds this thing's going to have on it, and stuff like that. Now, planned sections for hospital, I think I said it before a little bit. The back area is actually going to be like an infectious disease lab back over here. I'm going to have different sections. There's going to be like a intensive care section. There's going to be like general sections for like people that don't have huge issues. And then I was thinking about having like more of a quarantine section as well. And it's, even though I can't, like, all these rooms are going to have mostly separate, their own oxygen supply. I'll just say that it's like a, God, what do they call that? Well, zero pressure, I think it is. Maybe I said that wrong. Or a negative pressure room. So basically, if you did have something that was airborne in that room, it could not escape that room. So that's going to be another section of hospital stuff. And then I probably need some actual crew rooms as well, somewhere in the ship. So that's all planned stuff, but I got plenty of space right now to add more than I could ever imagine. Size class wise, it's going to be a big sucker. Size class wise, I'm getting close to, well, it's at size class 11 currently, and I've got a lot of area to do. And because of adding beds and deco things like beds, it really ramps the size class up quickly. So that is one thing. But I do have like most all the main components and stuff installed at this point in time. I need to add one more gravity generator. I need to add a couple Wi-Fis, or 2 or 3 Wi-Fis, maybe center, front, and rear of the ship. and then go on from there. But yeah, I just want to give a good update and show you what I've been doing, and got lots more to do, and I'll keep on jamming on this. And you all have yourself a good weekend, good Easter weekend. Maybe I don't know if you can see the family or not, but at least give them a call or do some fancy internet stuff. But I don't know. Anyway, take it easy, y'all. See you later.